Okay, today I wanted to go through a brief overview of the DocLib accounts payable solution. A quick aside on DocLib, it is the proprietary core product that Pix sells. We've developed DocLib about 15 years ago and are primarily focused on the automotive, life sciences, food and beverage, high tech, and industrial manufacturing verticals. It is primarily used as an accounts payable automation tool, although it is capable and functional within other departments such as procurement, sales order processing, expense reporting. It's a form solution, document management tool. But what we're going to focus on today and the core main use of DocLib within manufacturing companies is accounts payable automation. So today I'm going to go through a quick demo of three of the top things that we look to do within DocLib for our customers, and the reasons why a customer looks at utilizing DocLib for accounts payable automation. So those three reasons: visibility into pending invoices is a top priority for our customers and potential companies looking at our solution to utilize it for accounts payable automation. We'll get into some of the reasons why, but the second one is the automated three-way matching of a PO based invoice, the PO receipt, and the invoice itself, having those automatically matched real time with real time integration into the ERP system, utilizing the ERP system as the system of record and performing that three-way match, evaluating the three-way match and confirming that it's correct. And then that brings us to the third main reason why someone would utilize DocLib as their AP automation solution is transaction creation. Automation obviously is the underlying theme amongst all of these priorities, but the transaction creation, elimination of manual data entry type work is a huge benefit to utilizing an automated tool like DocLib, especially in accounts payable. The number one ROI that our customers evaluate DocLib against, like where are they going to get the most ROI, is in not only saving people's time within AP, but repurposing that time toward value add work. And we found that when we're able to help quantify what that value add work means to the business, that's when implementing this sort of tool is a no-brainer. Because a lot of the steps and things is like, okay, yeah, it's nice to get rid of some of that manual work, but when you're able to partner that with what is this going to mean for the business, for these individuals to utilize their skill sets to add more value with their work instead of manual entry and data entry, that's a huge proponent. In the visibility and depending invoices, that's huge for a variety of reasons. Everything from elimination of credit holds in an extreme case, shutting down manufacturing for some of our customers, all the way towards taking advantage of supplier credit terms. One customer saved $450,000 utilizing our solution for 6 months, just by taking advantage of the supplier credit terms that they were the discounted terms that they were able to take advantage of and prioritize those invoices. If they wanted to pay net 10 instead of net 30 and saved a 5% off of those invoices, quantifying that savings and prioritizing that with visibility into the process is huge. So I'm going to be for the demo here today, and I'm moving at a healthy clip here. Feel free to restart anything and go back. But what for the demo here today, what I'm going to be doing is kind of flip-flopping between our general diagram of AP automation. So the workflow diagram here that you see in front of you is a simplified version of what our out-of-the-box DocLib AP workflows do. And as I mentioned, and what we'll be focused on for this quick video is the QAD ERP system. That's where we have most of our customers utilizing that ERP system. Um, our approach as a company is to provide out of the box integrated workflows to ERPs for our customers, and not to just provide a system that can replace the ERP as a system of record for the AP process. Your ERP system is your system of record, and DocLib is the automated tool set and workflow that integrates throughout the entire workflow with your ERP system, to provide that automation and the return that you would get with automation. So I'm going to be flip-flopping between this diagram and the demo so you can see exactly, where we're at in the process. So jumping into the demo. So first things first, we're going to take a look into the visibility into pending invoices. Now, this could look at in ensuring that, invoices that are pending approval by a department head or a manager that has either a discrepancy, or say there was no PO, so there's no approval prior to receiving that invoice into the business, and it needs to be routed over to somebody to approve that spend. That's a huge one, getting visibility into those invoices on the street, as we call it, that are pending approval. And month end, seeing what's out, waiting to be processed for accruals in your month end. And there's a variety of others that we've already spoken about. The two primary ways that DocLib is going to provide that visibility into your pending invoices is via the dashboard, as you see here. So this is the first screen that you see when you log into the DocLib solution. And these are some of the core KPIs or metrics around the AP process and workflow that are important. The one that I'll draw your attention to is this green box here, the no touch workflows. That's the primary indicator, we would say, for our customers as to how efficient your AP process and your automated AP process is running. How many of those invoices are being processed through the system without any intervention at all, no exceptions. So, we talk about managing your invoice process by exception. A no-touch invoice has 0 exceptions. The three-way match works perfectly. There's no issues with that. The tax details are correct. All the freight is accounted for. There's no duplicates, things like that. So there's no touches to those workflows. The PO is valid, open. The GO period is open. Those are some of the exceptions that could require user intervention. This would give you an indication of how many workflows are no touch. So that's first things first, is the dashboard, to take a look at when you first hop into the DocLib solution. The second and very important component to get visibility into pending invoices is our report tool and our report writer. So I'll hop into this section here. This is the report tool. And basically what this reports tool is going to do, it's going to offer you the opportunity, clicking on this pencil here, to pull in a variety of pretty much any sort of different property, field, data point that you'd like to report on in your workflow. You're able to quickly and efficiently add those details to this report. So if I wanted to add a column, I've got a ton of different categories for those different fields. Say I wanted to add a workflow property, and then I've got a bunch of different options here for what sort of property I could add there. Same with, documents for the particular document that we're working with. And it's very intuitive. Our goal is to make this very user-friendly. There's no need to understand the database schema or contact IT or PICS in order to, build a report. We have many out-of-the-box reports that you can select from as well to help jumpstart the business, and then work with partners to develop those. So I'm going to run one of these reports as well. So kind of clicking into our open PO-based invoice workflow report. There's one other thing I'm going to show before I execute this report, which is the scheduler. super helpful for somebody who, say, wants to know what invoices are out on the street waiting for approval, or some other processing. You can send yourself a monthly report. I'll do it at the month end here. You can send it via email to the AP team. I can attach it as an Excel spreadsheet, write in some email subject and body, have a run date for this, and I can have this as a scheduled batch report. And this is one example. Another big example for our customers, obviously, is closing out periods. Approvals is a big one. But this is the scheduler in order to quickly and efficiently drop a report into your email inbox, as opposed to having to come through and execute it. Executing the report is quite simple in DocLib, and this is going to give you all of the workflows. So each workflow has an associated invoice, and this is going to give you a list of all of those workflows that's available to you, or that are pending in the system. So again, we had our dashboard and our report, and those are the two primary ways that our users use the solution to gain visibility into pending invoices. The more actionable approach to visibility into pending invoices is this workflows tab. So typically when I'm demoing the solution, the next question that I receive is, well, I'm an AP user. What does my day-to-day look like? Like, how am I going to run a report to prioritize these workflows, or how does this go for me as an AP user, or as someone who needs to do something in the system? So the example I'm going to show is a forced discrepancy in a three-way match. And I'm going to show how an AP person would manage that discrepancy. So every morning, an AP user hop into the solution like this. This is your home screen. I would click on the workflows tab here. And these, my username for my demo environment is Pix, but these are all the open workflows under that username that need some attention, that have some exception, that need attention and some sort of processing done with them. So what does this look like? The other option here is also to go and toggle over to all workflows. So this would be all your open workflows for all users. In my demo environment, I really only have workflows for one user. And then this is the open workflows for that particular user. Once an AP person comes into their workflow here, they have, a number of workflows that require some management by exception. The one that we were going to focus on and target primarily, since most of our customers are interested in the three-way match, is how do we handle a discrepancy in the three-way match? So here, workflow number 373, there's a manual receiver match review required due to a variance in the workflow. Actually, let's see if we can find one that has our supporting documents as well. That one doesn't seem to have supporting documents. Here we go. Okay, so here's one that has a manual receiver match review. There's a discrepancy of $5 here. We can see here on the right-hand side, we have our actual invoice, very standard invoice of $105. We have our purchase order, which is automatically printed and brought into DocLib from the ERP system, in this case, QAD. So a big part of our solution is no touching or uploading on the document management side of things as well, and bringing all the supporting documents readily available and accessible for a person to review and utilize when making a decision. So it's not only managing by exception, but managing by exception with informed decision making. So for this PO, we have a unit cost of $100.28. We got charged an extra $5. We also got charged some shipping and handling. So we'll show how this did not trigger a discrepancy, the shipping and handling, because, our PO here is for, this is a blanket PO. but we have a receipt of, of one, a quantity of one, so that'd be $128 should be the extended cost of the invoice. And we have an extended cost of $113.61. So we have a $5 discrepancy in our line, and we have an $8.33 shipping and handling charge. So this triggered a discrepancy, obviously, with the $5. Most of our clients also would say, like, hey, we have a threshold here. Anything under like $100, just process through, able to bake that into the system, either based off of a dollar amount or a percentage. So we'll come through here. Another big reason I wanted to show this is we're automatically pulling in the receiver from the ERP system. So oftentimes, the way that we quantify which receivers are getting pulled in is via a packing slip number. So in QAD, when you create a receiver transaction, a PO receipt transaction, it prompts you to put in the packing slip number. That packing slip number helps us to determine if, say if there's a PO, a large PO with 50 open receipts against it, an invoice comes in for 2 of them, but the packing slip number helps us bring in, okay, we need these 2 receipts. So we do what's called a header footer OCR. And this is a lot of detail for a quick overview. But we do a header footer OCR where we're going to pull that PO number. We're going to pull in the receipts based off the PO number and the packing slip number. Oftentimes our customers will also have the packing slip as a document to preview here. We see the receiver that's been brought in. We can adjust this voucher price to 105. We're going to route it for approval to the same user, picks. And then the last thing, or 2 more things that I wanted to mention, was what are we going to do with that freight? So the system is capable of integrating, obviously, into the GL chart of accounts for your ERP system and pulling and automatically GL coding things like freight in this case. I typically mention when I'm showing this solution as well that the automatic GL coding isn't just for something like freight, which is an addition onto a PO-based invoice. We could also do automatic GL coding for like a no PO based invoice that doesn't have a PO associated with it. We're not quite sure what accounts to post the invoice against. So we could set up a matrix and a user defined, user managed, and matrix that can help to do the GL distribution for that no PO based invoice. The last thing that I wanted to mention too is the tax detail. So the tax information is usually housed within the ERP system. In this case, that is true. So we have the tax information here that's pulled in automatically. So real time and associated with this invoice. A lot of our customers, DocLib is deployed in 17 different countries. So we have the Chinese global tax, a lot of Latin American companies have e-invoicing, same with, Europe. Europe also has the VAT tax. There's state tax implications like customers that we have in California. So there's a lot of specific tax setups that the system is capable of doing, either integrating into the ERP system or setting up those setups that ERP may not support directly within the solution. So here I'm going to say, I'm sending this to an approver. Route that over. I'm going to click approve. So this is the AP person approving this to be sent to an approver for final approval on the invoice. So I'm going to submit that off. So that's how we would manage a PO-based transaction. I'm going to quickly just come in here and approve an invoice that I have so we can see a transaction created as our last piece. So this would be, if I reviewed this as an approver, wanted to submit this off for creation of a transaction. And like I mentioned, we're going to flip over to our workflow diagram just to get a brief overview and understanding of what's happening overall with this invoice. So this invoice is coming in typically via email. Like 90% of our customers have invoices coming in via email, snail mail. We could also do fax. We have pieces of software that are going to automatically pull that document from something like a local file drive, a My Documents type folder, or from an AP inbox or some other inbox. Then we go through what's called our managed outsourced OCR process. So you may or may not be familiar with OCR. It's basically a technology and industry that is used to pull information off of a document. You can think about, last time that you deposited a check mobily to your bank, your personal bank, your mobile app may or may not have automatically read some of that information on the check. That's a form of OCR, or optical character recognition, also called intelligent capture. So basically our process for managed outsourced OCR is a combination between the software and also people, eliminating the need for users and our customers to have to go in and try to verify these documents themselves. So we go through that process. What comes out of that process is a fully indexed invoice, and then it's sent into this workflow for processing. Okay, so to finalize this video, so we went through and showed how you would handle a discrepancy in the three-way match. The final part of the process is the actual transaction creation within the ERP, which is automated. So I'm actually going to go through and approve one of these so that it creates a transaction for us. Click approve and submit. So after we have gone through the complete workflow, like I had shown in that swim lane diagram, the final step, like I mentioned, is going to be a creation of a transaction in the ERP. In this case, we're operating within the QAD ERP system. So I'm going to pull up QAD here. I'm just going to go to a supplier invoice view. And I'm actually going to do the creation date as yesterday. I did a couple demos yesterday. So, and as you can see, these invoices were created in the ERP system. DL, PO, okay to pay, that's DocLib. So, the status code we use to create these transactions. And the main selling point that we use in this particular process is, we're utilizing supported software by the ERP system, supported integration to create these transactions. We have 30 plus different integration points throughout our standard workflows in the ERP system. And but the most powerful piece of the puzzle that a lot of our customers are very interested in is the actual creation of this final transaction, since that's typically the most manual part. And it also just shows and speaks to the power of the solution to create the post post this transaction as a user would. We've got our GL accounts for freight, for a variance account, and then based off of the actual purchase order in this case, and then all of the information that would be automatically created from a transaction that a user would input. This is also created through a DocLib transaction. So these are some of the key components to the solution that I wanted to sort of go over in this general overview. One of the big things that our customers utilize is, and they look at from as far as an ROI is concerned, is not just elimination of paper, elimination of manual work. These sorts of things are these efficiencies within the AP process. They're important. However, they are not the really the main driver even really around ROI. It's really, what does this visibility and into your workflows and the efficiencies. What does this mean for the organization as a whole? And what does this in the terms of like, what does this enable an AP person to do with their time and with their work and with their job? That's really what we see as a core strength and competency within our customers who implement DocLib, and really where they see the most bang for their buck, if they will. So looking forward to speaking to you further about this solution, and excited to continue the conversation. But thanks again for the time.